Hello guys, it's your boy Frankdfranklin. You're welcome once more to my channel where we'll bring you closer to the top guns of the society. And on today's episode of the show, we have one and only M.Flute.
International bad man.
Bro, you're welcome, bro.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, so the fans will want to know you. Can you give us a little intro about yourself?
Okay, and thanks for hosting me in your event program there.
You're welcome, bro.
And yeah, this is me. Like, I'm actually known as Bad Man Flute because not really like maybe I'm doing something bad, but when it comes to what I love doing, I'm just kind of bad.
Yeah.
So that's why I call myself Bad Man Flute. I'm well known as Edin. So, but my stage name M.Flute.
Yeah.
Meaning magical flute.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, actually talking about bad, you know, Nigerian conception, when something is too good, we say, this thing bad.
Yeah,
like a good footballer is bad. Yeah. Oh, we get. Right, so where are you from?
I'm from Edo State, but grew up in Ondo State.
You grew up in Ondo State?
Yeah, that's strictly Yoruba land.
You're from Edo and you grew up in Ondo.
That's just kind of, yeah.
Okay, so how was it like growing up and doing music, as in from your background? What was it like?
Man, growing up, making music is just kind of, okay, this is what actually makes it easy for me because my mom is a music lover.
Okay.
Back then, I could remember she always listened to Bob Marley, Raskimono, who else again? A lot of reggae music, and that's what actually got my interest in reggae music. I developed myself, like growing up listening to reggae music, most especially Bob Marley. Because this Bob Marley, there's this kind of unique, exceptional music he used to deliver. So, and this kind, you know, sometimes whenever I'm doing music, I always like sounding patriot, you understand, in it. So that's where I started my music career from. And I started at my tender age where I was very small. I was very small.
What age?
I couldn't even really remember, but when I finally discovered my talent, this is how I started. Like, I love listening to music, and back then I could remember like during my short period of time, like I would just pick a pen, be writing already made music, you know, understand, pass it to my colleagues. They would like to read and understand the lyrics, even if I couldn't even check any lyrics there.
Okay.
So now, growing up, there was one of my friends that was already in the line then.
Yeah.
So I think when I got to my secondary level, so this guy was just like, he had been making the music. So it was just like, guy, also, I could see that maybe you really have interest in music, and me, I'm fully into this thing. So it shouldn't just be hard for me. Can we just join hands together?
Oh.
So then I started my career like we were two then. And we'll be delivering in our community then in Ondo State. We've been making some kind of hit music whereby people, though I couldn't say that it's really work, you know, when you started something at your what's it called, you know, like starting something is not very really easy, but still we were still making a good and better vibe that people are jamming to. What actually made me discover my stage name is there was this music that I was making there. The title is Magical Flute. So I was just like, I was making music and I got in love with this music. So I was just like, okay, so from there, that's where I discovered that Magical Flute. Before then, I was Edin, EDIN. So that's what I call myself whenever I'm making music. So from there, I was just like, Magical Flute. I really like this thing. Can I just make it my name? So that's how I started. Then it was fully Magical Flute. But there was a producer that I was working with in the studio then. So this producer was just like, after making the music, I think for you, yes. So after making the music, it was just like, saying this name as Magical Flute is just going to be somehow too long for people to, and people like something that is very unique. Let's shorten it to M.Flute, because when it's M, people will actually want to know that M.
Oh right, M.Flute. I was thinking it's M.Flute.
No,
M.Flute. Wow.
Magical.
Wow. Yeah. Magical Flute.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Talking about tracks, like how many tracks do you have so far?
Like this, I can't really count because
No, you must have done many.
I've done, you know, I told you I started making music right from my tender age.
Oh, okay.
I've made over 30 music. Over.
Okay.
Out
of those 30, like you said, what has really been? Which one has been your breakout track or your hit track that is mostly embraced?
When I started, so lately, one of my favorite tracks, which is the most trending one now, is Jaye.
Okay, Jaye is your current hit track.
Yes, current hit track.
Okay, what really inspired Jaye?
Jaye, okay, now, what inspired Jaye was, I love listening to beats. Go online, search different kind of South African beats, all this kind of beats, everything, J Mali beats, sometimes fuse Mr. Producer's beats. So, like, most of the music I make this time, it's actually beats.
Okay, like beats really inspired the music.
Inspired the music. So I was listening to this kind of beats that day, just vibing. I was just like, Jaye, that kind of thing. So by the time I know, I come across a kind of chorus and bridge, but I made the rest inside the studio.
The studio.
Yes.
Wow, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so so far, what will you say has been your challenges, and how did you overcome it?
My challenge is, you know, everybody has a story.
Yeah, sure.
And the kind of environment you are. So I was in this environment, though they admired what I do. They admired it, and they really show some love. But I couldn't really relate with a lot of artists. And sometimes when you went for a show and these people will be like, being an upcoming, you know the kind of challenges upcoming artists face.
Yeah.
Okay, being an upcoming, you go to a show, they will be like, before you could perform, you still have to. It's not like maybe you are going to the show to get famous, you understand? But all these kind of small event centers, they will just be like, before you could still perform, before we could just get some time for you to just do what you could do, that you still have to pay for it. The kind of challenges is just, what I would just say to keep this thing short is money.
Yeah.
Money.
Okay,
so
yeah. Money is really challenging to almost everybody in the industry, but with time, God is going to see us.
Sure, by God.
So, who would you love to collab with, living or dead? Who would you prefer? As in,
before this, my viral video and music that's trending now, which is Jaye, I've already featured like that on the track, on the same track, Jaye.
Oh, really?
But we've not really disclosed anything about the track and about the promotion. That's why. So we still keep on pushing this Jaye first.
Okay.
Then again, I think I like to feature. I'm in love with these South African guys too, Southeast Soul. Because there's this kind of unique sound that I made, and I really want to work with different kind of artists, even across Nigeria, across Africa as a whole.
That's a good one.
Firstly, I would love to feature this Nigeria artist. If I could feature Whiskey, I would be very excited. But Whiskey is not just like easy thing to just be like go to his DM and you even get to him just for recording or some other things like that.
I believe with time, all these things will put in place. Yes. So far, you have a target and you want to.
I like to work with Fireboy.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a good. The music actually sound alike, so it's a good collab.
Yeah.
Okay. For someone that wants to do something like you, that wants to be a musician like you, so what advice can you give to them?
For the upcoming artists, all what I could say right now is, if you are coming up, you don't have to give up. You just have to have this kind of mindset that this thing you are doing, you are like, that's the best thing you know how to do. And by the time you passionate it, like put all your passion and energy towards this thing. You know, there are sometimes like you started making some things, even if you could not even if you do not have only one single fans like this, your persistence, like you consistently doing this thing, people will just, okay, let's just assume you do a track, you don't really sleep on the track, and you come out with another vibe, you do another track, you don't sleep on it, you do another one. Like by the time people keep listening to this jam here, this other jam here, and it's kind of different kind of vibe, you know how they will like what you are doing.
Yeah.
So being focused, courageous, and persistency. Like just keep doing what you are doing, and make sure that whenever it comes to the money aspect of it, like if it's what you can afford, don't doubt yourself. Yes.
Okay. We want to know, if you were not doing music, what would you be doing?
What would I be doing? I don't really always have second thoughts about my music. If I've not been doing music, I'll still be doing music.
Oh, that's wow. That's wonderful.
But I've been doing some kind of artisanal work before.
Okay.
Because as I am like this, though I don't really want to disclose that much, but I do painting.
Okay.
I paint building. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel a lot of interior
decoration.
Yes.
Alright. So the fans want to know, what are we expecting from Mr. Flute?
From Magic
From M.Flute. What are we expecting from him?
Like what you're actually expecting is, I've promised you this thing several times. A lot of energy, and I'm giving you guys back to back. This is jam.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm working on some things lately. I don't really want to disclose that right now, but just expect some kind of shit that, like, you will love to vibe and party. You party till night done.
Alright.
Yeah, till the light goes off. That's the kind of things you can make it right now. And my fans should just, and God bless you, my fan. God bless you.
Alright, so we would like you to do a freestyle for us.
Wow, freestyle. Okay. 2 a.m. African time. She one day my side. She one day with me. But my identity, me I don't dare. All my pills tonight. Give me more pills I want. Give me more pills I want. Yeah. She one day my side. She one day with me. Making my identity. You make a bad man rise. You one day with me. Making my identity. Me I don't dare. Me I don't take. Me I don't dare. Before she go say, Opo!
Opo, brother.
Yeah.
Nice having you, man.
Thank you very much, Mr. Frank.
Alright guys, that's a wrap from Magical Flute. Yeah, you can get his music. The links to his music will be down in the description below, and the link to his Instagram accounts too, so that you can follow him up and get more updates on the latest and the project he has promised us. If there's any other question, do wait to leave it down below. He will be there to answer your question. And also remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thank you.